say good morning. Welcome to JDB's Morning Cap. This is a doubleheader, second episode of the doubleheader. So we're doing it again twice this week, today and Friday. We do 5 episodes over the next 3 days. So we're excited that this show will go on after I missed a lot of time because I had to do in-house work last Friday. So, I want to cut it to the chase to start this show today. I just want to I want a discussion to take place. Okay, let's start with the NFL as the offseason is approaching. We have breaking news early this week that the Dolphins have released Tyreke Hill, Bradley Chubb, and among some of the Dolphins players have also released. So which means what's next for Tua Tagovailoa after Jeff Hafley becomes the Dolphins head coach? So what's next for Tyreke Hill and Tua Tagovailoa? We'll start with Tyreke Hill first. To me, is he considered retiring? I'm not sure about that. I mean, this is a really interesting situation. But it's really difficult to ask when Tyreke Hill decided to cut with the team. So with Tyreke Hill being released, it's really hard right now. The situation, he's still dealing with knee injury. He's lecturing his knee surgery right now. So depends on how long he's going to be out. But if he's out of the NFL for a year, if he doesn't sign anything, then he'll be out of the NFL for 1 year, and then he'll be back in the NFL next year if he gets fully healthy. But right now, Tyreke needs to focus on his health. So it's been of a struggle for him as far as health. I mean, this is surprising because he's a really good player. At times, he hasn't been healthy. When he comes back, timing might be off for him. The timing of Tyreke Hill could be off, and this is what happened when Tyreke Hill does not fare well enough with him. So the question is, which team they could destinate? Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Green Bay, Kansas City, or New York Giants, or Dallas Cowboys. If we know Pickens has placed on FT, which is franchise tag, Um, should the Chiefs bring Tyreke Hill back? Should they bring Tyreke Hill back to Kansas City? Unanimously, they will say yes. It could happen. It could happen. They could bring Tyreke Hill back, but the question: are they going to bring Patrick Mahomes back from the season-ending injury last year back? Will he be back on time when the season begins? We don't know right now. It's still in question. The AFC West is more than in question than it was over the last couple of years. But I tell you what, I mean, Tyreek Hill's a great superstar, but when he gets hurt, you hate to see this in this situation. Tyreek Hill got hurt in Week 4 against the Jets. He never came back for the rest of the year. He never came back since. I mean that's absolutely disheartening. He dislocated his knee, torn his ACL, multiple ligaments, and he may not play the entire 2026. But the rehab situation is in little progress right now against Tyreek Hill. Although I do like the fact that Tyreek could go back to Kansas City, but I don't think he's going to play next year. I don't think he's going to play in 2026-27 season because he got hurt last year. And I believe it's a minimum contract. If that's the case, bringing Tyreek, he's a Super Bowl champion with the Chiefs in 2019-20 season. Tyreke Hill has been in the Super Bowl twice in his career, so at least he accomplished. At least he accomplished. So we will have to see how it pans out for Tyreek by going forward. So, and Bradley Chubb's release is critical as well. I mean, Bradley Chubb. Where is Bradley Chubb's going to go? San Francisco 49ers? Maybe the Rams? The Steelers? Packers? Giants? Chiefs? Bills? The list goes on and on. But this one will probably hurt them the most. I think this one will hurt for Miami. So Miami Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa will not return to Miami next season. That allows Quinn Ewers to be a quarterback. But the only problem is the Dolphins' overall record is going to be far worse. It's going to be far worse because of that. With issues, with injuries, and all that stuff going on, they would have had that problem. The problem would have been solved. And now the Dolphins are relying on a heavy draft mode this offseason. and fewer acquisitions for experienced players. Dolphins want to go younger. They want to go young cores. I understand that. It's tough to get through it. It is so tough to get through it right now. It's tough. It's really tough. It's tough to get through this. I mean, it is really tough to get through that. But Jeff Hadley will have their work cut out. Will absolutely have their work cut. It's really hard right now. Let's see where the Dolphins come from it. For the Miami Dolphins right now. Right now, the Dolphins are still searching for young players like Quinn Ewers. I mean, Tua. Where is Tua gonna go? That's the question. Will it be Arizona, Cleveland? Maybe we could see Denver if Bo doesn't come back. If Bo Nix doesn't come back. He is in. We could see any of these teams for Tua Tagovailoa. So the Dolphins are clearly going to the young, rely on young roster talent. So they try to get through this in the process. This is a practical issue right now. This is a practical issue. This is an issue right now. So this has got to stop. This just have to stop. They're struggling to get back on their feet and all that stuff. The Dolphins don't have that one. I mean, Dolphins have no firepower going to next season. This is really bad for the Dolphins. Because of that, they could be going through some serious issues. All right, so coming up next, we'll talk NBA first half report cards. And then Adam Silver is talking about stop the NBA stop tanking rule. So we'll talk about that. And then is CP3 done in the NBA? We'll find out coming up on episode 29. So today was episodes 28 and 29. 28 was we talked about the coverage of Jesse Jackson's death. 29th we'll talk sports and topics. So because today is a double header. We'll do it again twice this week. One today and one on Friday, and 5 overall episodes over the next 3 days. We'll step away in 3 minutes. All right, welcome back here on JDB's Morning Cap. As the NBA first half had come to an end, the NBA All-Star Weekend was completed. USA Stripes was the US NBA All-Star winner. The MVP was Anthony Edwards of the All-Star. So, let's take a look at the other winners. Here's what transpired. Yeah, Team Vince Carter won the Rising Stars. Whereas the Skills Challenge, the winner was the winning of the Skills Shooting Stars. Was the Knicks. Damian Lillard won the 3-point contest, and the dunk contest winner was Kashad Johnson. So those are what wouldn't happen last weekend's All-Star. So, but let's talk about the first half report cards. All right, like I said, we're going from worst to first, and what grades what I given you. So I'm gonna do one team at a time. I'm gonna go number 15, Washington Wizards, 14-39 record. I know the Wizards season has not gone well as planned, but it's even though they're the worst team in the East, but they have been better as far as competitiveness. So, I mean, despite the fact that 14-39, there's a chance they could be in the playoffs next year. I think Washington, they got better players. They can put themselves in a better position to get into the postseason in 2026-27 season. So, what grade would I give the Wizards? Yes, I'm gonna give them a D minus. I was gonna give them an F for a long time ago. I'm gonna give them a D minus because they're the worst record, despite the fact that they're the worst record in the East. I give Wizards a D minus. Number 14, the Indiana Pacers, 15-40. It's been a tough season for the Pacers. They got to the NBA Finals last year. Halliburton got hurt in Game 7 of the NBA Finals last year, and this year it's been disappointing. No surprise. Injuries, despite the fact Pascal Siakam is an all-star. Rick Carlisle, he's a hell of a coach, but I love him to death. But this team has been disappointing. 15-40 record for the Pacers. I'm going to give the same grade as the Wizards, D minus as well. I'm going to give Pacers a D minus. Meanwhile, number 13 is the Brooklyn Nets, 15-38. Nets are sitting the third worst record in the East. Um, Despite the fact Michael Porter Jr. is having a solid year, Jody Fernandez, they still want to compete every game. They're not going to win games like this, but they're trying to compete every single game. They have to finish the game the right way, better. So we're great. We're great. What I give the Nets, I give them a D, just a regular D, no D plus, nor D minus. Just a D right now. This is a golden opportunity for this team in this one here. Number 12 is Milwaukee Bucks, 23-30. This team has been disappointing, but they have played better as of late. They won 5 of their last 7 games. The Bucks team, they still don't have Giannis. I don't know when is Giannis coming back. I'm not sure about that. It's going to take a long process because of that. You put yourself in a really, really tough situation. So I think the Bucks will still miss the playoffs. But what grade do I give the Bucks? I'll give them a D as well. I'm gonna give the Bucks a D as well. So far, 4 teams has D or has a D or worse grade. No Fs so far for this year. Number 11 is Chicago Bulls, 24-31. Chicago Bulls. Bulls team, they were going through some ups and downs as well. They're out of the playing picture. Yeah, but this is a golden opportunity to put themselves in prime position. And Chicago, this is a small, heavy lineup, small, heavy roster. But what grade would I give the Bulls? I'm gonna give them a D as well. So the Chicago Bulls may not be in the play-in picture by the end of the year. Number 10 is Atlanta Hawks, 26-30. Losing Trae Young is tough and better. They're better without Trae Young. I think the Hawks will hang on to the final spot of the play-in tournament. I think they can still do it. I think they can win some games without Trae Young. They have success with it, but overall, it's been a tough season. Offensively, it's been a struggle. But Jalen Johnson's been the only masterpiece for this team. So what grade would I give the Hawks? I'll give them a D as well. So far, D or worse. Wizards, Pacers, Nets, Bucks, Bulls, and Hawks, they've been all Ds or worse. All right, for the Hornets, I'm not giving this category. They're 26-29. Hornets have won 9 of their last 10 Hornets have won 10 of their last 11 games, including they had a 9-game winning streak. I'm impressed with the Hornets to claw their way back to the play-in standings. But the key is, can they beat them the first round of the play-in tournament and then face them for the 8th seed? If they can do it both, they could be in the playoffs. If the Hornets do make the playoffs in time, that's shocking. Miles Bridges, Con Knaple, LaMelo Ball starting to gel themselves. Charles Lee has done a pretty darn good job. So what grade I would give the Hornets? I'm going to give them a C minus. I actually am impressed the way they battled their last few games. They got big wins against the Thunder. They had big wins. They had so many big wins in the past. They had wins against the Spurs as well. I mean, those are the key wins you're supposed to make. But I like the Hornets a C minus. So they done a good job to just put it together. Number 8 is the Miami Heat. 29 and 27. Another up and down season. We got Tyler Hero and other guys try to step up. Bam Adebayo. I mean, for the Miami Heat players and the team, Eric Spoelstra is a future Hall of Famer. There's no getting around it. Miami Heat have been in the play-in tournament in each of the last roughly each of their last 4 seasons. So if Heat does reach the play-in tournament, they'll be in the play-in tournament for 5 consecutive seasons. They have not been top 6 since 2022-23. All right. Heat have not been in top 6 since 2021-22. Heat had the best record in the conference. End up losing in 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics in 2021-22 season. We're great what I give the Heat right now. I'm going to give them a C minus as well. This team has been up and down, some inconsistencies along the way. Maybe they would have done it. Number 7 is the Orlando Magic. They're 28 and 25. The points, the defense. Desmond Bain is a good player. They don't have Paolo Banchero. He's missed most of the year. Don't see Magic being the top 6 in the Eastern Conference. But you guys just have their numbers. Because of that. The Magic is 28 and 25 this season. So what grade would I give the Magic? I give Magic a C on this one. I give Magic a C. It's just like that here. Number 6 is the Philadelphia 76ers, 30 and 24, hanging on in the top 6. Last year, a disaster season. This year, improvement. Despite the injuries, they have improved. They have improved this year. Tyrese Maxey has been very good. Edgecombe is having a very solid year. Joel Embiid has started to come on down the stretch. Even though Paul George is still suspended, he'll be back by end of next month. So hopefully the Sixers team could make it rock and roll down the stretch and hold on to the top 6. So they can push it to the 5th seed if they choose this way. Because of that, the Sixers are 30 and 24. What grade would I give Philadelphia? I'll give them a C. I think there's some room for improvement. The defense hasn't been great this year, but they got some terrific guards. Edgecombe and Maxey. They got some pretty good guards along the way. Number 6 is Toronto Raptors, 32 and 23. A really monster turnaround for the Raptors this year. Clearly a monster turnaround. I mean, the Raptors team has been struggling since they won the championship. They have not made the playoffs since 2021-22 season. Now this team is resurging. Scotty Barnes is having a solid year. Brandon Ingram is having a solid year. And Darko, Coach of the Year consideration. No doubt. But what grade would I give the Raptors in the first half? I'm giving them a C plus. I think the C plus will be the better position for Toronto Raptors. C plus is a pretty good position for Toronto. I think they could do better. Raptors, they deserve to be top 6. If they continue to play well, exceeding consistently, then they could They can face the 4th seed or the 3rd seed if they down this way. Number 4 is the Cleveland Cavaliers, 34-21 this season. 34-21 for the Cavs. This season hasn't gone well as planned early on, but they have kept rolling. They kept rolling. They're playing much better. Cavs were the best team in the East last year. They got shanked in a second round by the Pacers in 5 games. This season, slow start, got rolling. They add James Harden to pair it with Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen. I mean, this team will be scary going to the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell has not gone to the conference finals yet in his career. If Cavs will have to move on in the first round, they will have to face the Pistons in the second round, and they got to get past it. If they don't, they could be at least a second round or first round exit. What grade would I give Cleveland? I'll give them a C+ as well. So there's nothing you can do about that. This one here. Number 3 is the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks is the number 3 seed. The New York Knicks is the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. 35-20 record. Number 3 seed in the East. Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby. I mean, this Knicks team has a chance to compete for the NBA Finals. And Mike Brown's done a solid job. Can they reach 50 wins? Yes, they could. They can do it again. I'm sure they have a chance to reach 50 wins by the end of the year. So what grade would I give the Knicks? I'll give them a B. I give the Knicks a B in this one. I give the Knicks a B. I think this team will differentiate themselves. Number 2 is the Boston Celtics. They got off to an 0-3 start. Since then, they're 35-19 overall. They have the second best record in the East, despite the fact they don't have Jason Tatum. But the guy who's having a solid year, an all-star, Jaylen Brown, guys like Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, and some role players as well, some supporting cast, Kata, Shireman, who else? Vucevic in the mix as well. Simon's no longer with the team. He's with the Bulls right now. So the consistency, the bench play has played very well. So what grade would I give the Boston Celtics? I give them a B+. I'll give them a B+. Brad Stevens has done a great job up to get the players control. Joe Mazzulla's done a good job as well. This Celtics team, they won a championship. Brad Stevens won a title as a front office operation, not as a head coach. Brad Stevens has won a title as a front office organization of the Celtics. Joe Mazzulla won a championship as a head coach. Number 1 is Detroit Pistons, the best record, not just the East, the best record in the entire association. 40 wins, 13 defeats. But the Pistons are clearly the best team. The Pistons have the number 1 defensive rating in the NBA. They have the best defensive rating in basketball. Cade Cunningham, MVP consideration. Jalen Duren, Defensive Player of the Year consideration. Biggerstaff, Coach of the Year consideration. This is a consideration of awards. When these guys are healthy, this team is unbelievable. And the Pistons team are clearly the best team in basketball. They had some good wins. They beat the Knicks. They beat the Celtics 3 times out of 4. I mean, what grade would I give the Pistons? I give them an A plus because they have the best record in basketball. Last year, a couple of years ago, they were the worst team in the NBA. This year, they're the best team in basketball at All-Star break. If they can continue this way, they will have the best record in the NBA by the end of the year. All right, let's take a look at the Western Conference report cards and evaluations. I'm going to do the same thing. Number 15, Sacramento Kings, 12-44. They have the worst record in the NBA. The Kings are disaster. Clearly disaster. We're going to give Sacramento F. 100% F. Number 14, New Orleans Pelicans. Problematic players. Problematic draft picks. Problematic talents. And problematic coach. I give them a F as well. I give New Orleans an F as well. All Fs. Health is an F. Jazz 18-38. The Pelicans are 15-41. The Jazz are 18-38. They got some young cores, but this team has been disaster. Their defense has been disaster. For the Jazz grade, I give them a D minus. Jazz is a D minus. Dallas Mavericks 19-35. Cooper Flag is a talented young man, teenager, but this team has showed lack of support. I give Mavericks a D minus as well. Number 11 is the Memphis Grizzlies, 20-33. This team that doesn't deserve to be in the play-in. I'm gonna give them a D as well. Number 10, the Los Angeles Clippers, 26-28. They got out to a 6-21 start. Gotten better. They're still in it. For the grade I give the Clippers, I'm going to give them a D as well. I'm going to give the Clippers a D. Trailblazers, much improved. 27-29. This is improved basketball team. I'll give the Blazers a C plus for Portland. Number 8 is the Golden State Warriors, 29-26. Hanging on by their thread. Dealing a lot of injuries. Stephen Curry, the greatest player of all time. Four-time NBA champion for Stephen Curry. Steve Kerr, four-time NBA champion as a head coach himself, and Draymond Green along with them. The grade what I give the Warriors, I give them a C minus. Number 7 is the Phoenix Suns. Jordan Ott has done a solid job. 32-23 this season. Play-in picture, although what grade would I give the Suns? Devin Booker. I'll give Suns I'm gonna give a C pluses for the Suns. And then top 6 playoffs. Number 6, 34-22, Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards will go off after the All-Star break. They can sneak these top teams in the West if they can pile up some wins. I think this team will be dangerous. They got to the conference finals last year, and now their goal is to get to the conference finals for the 3rd consecutive year. What grade I give Minnesota? I'll give them a B minus. Number 5 is the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers are 33-21. They will not have a home court advantage. Have playoffs started today, but I do like the fact Luka Doncic is having a solid season. MVP type season for Luka Doncic. Things may not go away at this point. So be it. What grade would I give the Lakers? I give the Lakers a C plus. Number 4 is the Houston Rockets, 33-20. Up and down season. Kevin Durant. Numbers may not be smooth as I like it to be. He's still an all-star. Shane Gruden has been good. Jabari Smith is starting to progress a little bit. Amon Thompson start to progress. So hopefully Houston will keep in home court advantage in a hero. We're going to get Houston B minus. Number 3 is the Denver Nuggets, 35-20. Jokic missed time almost the entire month and a half. Came back. Numbers doesn't look quite as good as it was since he came back, but this team is finding ways to win. We're going to give Denver. I'll give them a B. I'll give Denver a B on this one. Number 2 is the San Antonio Spurs. Incredible season, 38-16. I give the Spurs A minus. And number 1 is the Oklahoma City Thunder, 42-14. Another solid year. Fell apart as of late, but I think they're good enough to be with this team. I'll give them an A for the Thunder. They have the best record in the West. All right, so that's the report cards. I've been read this for the entire 25 minutes, so there's no getting around it. All right, so coming up next, we'll talk about the tanking rule, and we will talk about Chris Paul's farewell. We'll step away in 3 minutes. Welcome back here on JDB's Morning Cap. This is the second episode of this doubleheader. Here, let's talk about this one. Let's stick with the NBA. Adam Silver is talking about the stop tanking rule. So that's the question right now. That's what he was going to ask right now. So the question was, should the NBA consider stop tanking? Do you agree they should stop tanking? Well, if I'm quite honest with you, I think they should stop tanking. But if they continue to tank, this could lead to a potential investigation. They could decrease their draft picks, like relinquishing draft picks. It could affect cap space. It could affect financial contracts. The long-term deals will not be in place. The trades, then they can owe some money from other teams. The teams that who owed that who requesting a trade. This is really, it's been a rough couple of weeks because Pacers and Jazz were fined each other for trading teams. Jazz were fined for sending players out in the fourth quarter. I mean, they could considered is due to underperforming players or just due to lack of effort. I mean, so there's so many teams. The actions, the draft pick penalties. What could possibly happen? The only thing that can happen is they can take a look at it, review it, and then they can see how they can break this. How they can break this down. It could cost a bunch of money. When they tank, it's gonna be a fine. They could suspend someone. They could face a suspension. Not by the players. It could be from the organization. It could be from someone from the organization. The ruling. Let's say the difference between tanking and tampering. So maybe the fans will be. Yes, the fans can be frustrated. The NBA fans for the teams could be frustrating, but frustrated. Excuse me. This. Everybody's frustrated. The entire NBA stop taking is considerably a frustration from this franchise, and they angered the organization operations. The time is money. It's scary. But this is absolutely a fault line in the NBA. NBA is in the fault line right now. But it is clear that LeBron James, I'm not a huge fan of tanking. LeBron is not a huge fan of tanking. He's not the guy. Well, they're not the guy. They're not the guys. They signed the petition to stop tanking. Adam Silver is considering it of stop taking. Tanking is really bad for the NBA or other sports. When your players are trying to sell someone. This is really bad. It's terrible right now. You hate to see that situation. You really hate to see this. But the NBA player of director of operations are still working to commit what NBA teams could stop tanking and could improve their draft prospects, especially with younger talents. But the talent of operations of any of these organizations, that's where this is going to come from. The talent of player of operations, the talent of the director of operations. This is the situation you do not want to miss. Tanking in the NBA is going to be historically surprising. This is history. This is going to be the biggest move in the history of the NBA. Tanking is no longer in place. Tanking is expecting to be stopped. They will progress by the end of the season to see, and they could, like I said, they could start investigate these teams like Jazz, Pacers, Wizards, Hawks. There could be some potential investigation. There's a chance at least 4 teams will not get a draft pick. If so, that will be disappointing. It will be disappointing if at least 4 teams do not get a draft pick, either first round or second round. You only get 2 rounds in the NBA draft. So this is a problem now in the NBA. The stop taking rule is going to be crucial after the playoffs. After the playoff season is over. So they have a lot of work to do in the off season. So when they're going to talk stop tanking rule, they're going to do it. They're still talking about it for the rest of the year. They will continue to progress. They're gonna take a lot of looks at it. Should they stop taking? And then they gotta vote. You gotta have more yeses than nos. So you need over 75% of the votes to vote yes to end the tanking rule and to become stop tanking rule. This is a golden situation you got to make. So this is really the problem right now. You hate to go through this situation. You really hate to go through this right now. It's really tough. It's tough to get through it. So there's nothing a lot going on right now. And this is the situation you do not want to miss. And that's an issue. Once again, that's an issue once again. You can't just take any these guys who can lose a draft pick or losing everybody else's stuff. That's not how it works. That's not how this stuff works like that. So I agree. They need to stop tanking. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself fined or maybe suspended. You put yourself in a really terrible spot. All right, coming up, we'll talk about CP3. And then we'll wrap things up. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes. We'll be right back, y'all. All right, welcome back, y'all. This is JDB's Morning Cap. Chris Paul has announced his retirement after 20 solid seasons in the NBA. He was drafted. He was a 4th overall pick of the 2005 first round draft from Wake Forest. Chris Paul was drafted to New Orleans Hornets. Got this to the playoffs here, and he played with the Hornets, Clippers for 2 stints, Houston Rockets, Oklahoma City Thunder, Phoenix Suns. He got to the NBA Finals in 2020 and 21 season. Warriors, Spurs last year. He's also a 1-time NBA All-Star Game MVP 2013. He's a 12-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA first team, 5-time All-NBA second team, 2-time All-NBA third team, 7-time NBA All-Defensive first team, 2-time NBA All-Defensive second team, NBA Rookie of the Year, NBA All-Rookie first team, 5-time NBA assist leader, 6-time NBA steals leader, part of the NBA 75th anniversary team. He has all of his accolades for Chris Paul. All the awards except the NBA ring. He did not win an NBA championship ring. Is he a future Hall of Famer? Yes, he is. I love Chris Paul. We'll get to that in a second at the end. But first, why Chris Paul retired? Maybe lack of playing time. Lack of playing time. So the 2 players who walked out without an NBA champion, Vince Carter and Chris Paul. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not a Hall of Famer. You still can be a Hall of Famer without winning a title. It's understandable. But you got yourself to the finals. You got yourself to the finals. At least you did everything. You did you did everything he's done for him. I mean, Chris Paul is a heck of an athlete in this, but I cannot take away from what he has done in his career. I mean, Chris Paul is a good man. He wants to be a coach someday. He plays the game the right way. I respect Chris Paul as a point guard. So where I rank one of the greatest point guards in the history of this league. As far as assists, steals, and minutes. Chris Paul has played the most minutes by any point guard in the history of the NBA. He could be on the floor for 48 minutes. He's averaged around his 33 and a half minutes a game, which is across 1,370 games. That's pretty historic. His career best is 37.6. He's averaged 38 minutes a game in 2008. Pretty historic. The player minutes efficiency rate, which is amongst the best in the NBA history. He's played over 79% of his minutes. That's pretty good. You talk about LeBron, Kobe, Michael Jordan. You played a lot of minutes since became official. The minutes, players' minutes is so important when you're on the floor. It's also important for your health. Let's say a coach is not going to take you out of the game. They refuse to take you out of the game when the game is close. Chris Paul he's a great competitor too. He's a great competitor. He competes every time, every day. When he doesn't play his best. Chris Paul career high in points. His career high was 41 or 43. 43, I believe it was in the regular season. In the postseason is 41. 41 points. He had 43 points in the regular season. Playoff high is 41. So he had 41 points in Game 6 in the 2021 Western Conference Finals. That was his career high. In the playoffs. In the regular season, 43 with the New Orleans Hornets. I mean, several reactions of CP3's retirement. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, former teammate of USA, Kevin Durant, James Harden, former teammate himself, Kawhi Leonard, Stephen Curry, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, who else? Trae Young, Draymond Green, respected point guards in the game. Anthony Edwards respects CP3. But man, The reason why he retired, Chris Paul was frustrated. He didn't get his minutes. He didn't get enough playing time. He didn't get a lot of playing time with the Clippers in his final season. This is a really tough situation to get through this. It's really tough. It's really tough to get through it. But although
I'll take a win. I'll fill your in.
But this is an issue right now in the NBA. It's tough to increase minutes like this. It's tough to get through that. It's really tough. You hate to see Chris Paul retiring during the season. You hate to see that situation. You hate to go through this. You really do. So, Chris Paul, I respect you. I love you. Hopefully you're going to be in the Hall of Fame really, really soon. It's sad he didn't walk out as a champion, but you always be respected as CP3. Thank you for all your service. He will continue to do every service that he really has, that what he's done. All right, let's wrap it up. Before we go, what's coming up in our next episode tomorrow? It's a short. I believe it's a short episode tomorrow. So we'll preview Pistons, Knicks, Warriors, Celtics as NBA season will continue tomorrow. We'll talk MLB for the first time in a while. Spring training is 2 days from today. We'll talk Yankees. We'll talk some bigger teams. We'll talk NFL. Like Kansas City, Dallas, something like that. I can talk some other teams. I know we're deeply excited. I'm back. Haven't spoke to y'all since last Thursday. I had to do in-house cleaning work. Today I've been talking about on episode 28 earlier today. I talked about celebrating the life of Reverend Jesse Jackson. And then on episode 29, we talked about stop taking rule, Dolphins releasing both Tyreke Hill and Bradley Chubb and among Dolphin players. We talked about CP3's retirement, and we talked about first half NBA report cards for 30 teams, 15 by each conference. All right, man, that's it. This is JDB's Morning Cat. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.